Hello and greetings to Dr. Charanjit Kaur, Anaprumpan Swaran Singh, and to my fellow classmates. So I'm Parimala Anaprumpan Pari, matrix number D201910888035, and my group members are Nalvin Analalaki Raja Amarim, Rakesh Raj Analalaki Vincent, and Mohammad Sharman Akira Binti Hatono. We would like to present our assignment 2 recorded presentation for the BIP 3093 language assessment in school course. So the two language skills that we focus in constructing the assignment 2 are reading and also writing. So the content being discussed in this presentation are from for students which are in intermediate level, the test specification table, which is for the purpose of assessing the language skills, the test paper, the execution of the test paper, and the results obtained, and also the students' progress. All right. Next, the test that we have decided to construct is in a summative form as it is conducted as a final year examination test specifically for Form 4 students in SMK Desa Cempaka, Nilai Negeri Sembilan. The main consideration needed to ensure that the test that we construct is valid and reliable is based on the proper planning of the test construction. The steps that we follow to construct a good test paper is number one, learning objectives. At the end of the test paper, students should be able to, number one, identify the correct answer by extracting the information from the text given using the skimming and scanning techniques. Number two, critically link the correct information given in the advertisements about endangered nature and destructions of the nature with the questions. And number three, apply the right format and write explicitly related to the topic of the essay given. So step two is the constructions of test of specification. Before we construct the questions for the test paper, first and foremost, we plan on which topic and what type of questions to take in order to construct the questions according to the students' capabilities. We focused on one specific theme and plan to pick various topics like sports, nature, and wildlife to satisfy the requirement of the final year examination that the test paper should be covered with various topics. The purpose of choosing various topics is to give the students a wide range of reading text and information so that it will help each and every student to score better results. We also determine the contents and the learning standards to make sure that the test is aligned with the scheme of work for Form 4 students to achieve the target decided. After that, we discussed the type of questions that needed to be included in the test paper because almost the same types of questions, for example, multiple choice questions in every section will make the reliability of the test paper to become low. It will also make the students bored to answer the questions. So we decided to prepare multiple choice and also essay questions. Overall, the construction of tests of specification really helped us to prevent repetition or omission of any units. The next step that we follow is the construction of test items. In this step, we constructed the test items in accordance with the test of specification that we prepared earlier. In order to prepare for the test, we divided each section and we have come up with the materials that we have constructed by ourselves. Then for each material in each section, we discussed and confirmed if those materials are aligning with the learning objectives that we have set. We analyze and choose the appropriate levels using the Bloom's taxonomy. We also make sure that each section contains different levels of difficulty so that the students are capable of answering the test. The main part that we focused when constructing the test items is we make sure that our test paper is free from ambiguity. We also fix clear instructions in each sections of the questions so that the students will be aware of what is needed in the particular question. Altogether, we created 20 multiple choice questions from each section from section A to section D, and a formative essay writing question in section E. After that, we modify the test items. We started to modify it by preparing a special cover page which consists of the name of the school and students, time and marks allocation along with simple instructions. This will help the students to get a clear picture on what they're going to do in a test. We did also a few changes in the procedures of submitting the answers for the test paper, where we set a Google form for the students to key in their answers for the multiple choice questions. But for the section E, which is the essay writing, they all are given the freedom to write either using Microsoft Word, Google document, or through email. As for the following step, we allocate the marks for the test items that we created earlier. In order to specify the marks for each question, we decided to create a marking scheme and rubric to be particular in judging the students' answers, as it increases the reliability of the test. For the multiple choice questions, MCQ, we set 1 mark for all the questions and 20 marks for the essay question according to the rubric. Besides, we also plan to allocate specific time for MCQ and essay writing so that the students can manage their time to complete the test within the time allocated. After that, we evaluated the test items. Once the test is prepared and done with the construction part, we proceed to the checking and confirming of the test items in terms of practicality, authenticity, validity, and reliability of the test. This evaluation process truly helped us in discovering defective and ambiguous items in the instructions, the length of the answer key, and grammatical errors. As for the final step, we administer the test items. We as group members gather the day before the administration of the test to ensure the technical parts are working well and make sure there are less distractions during the test. We split the workloads where some of our group members will take in charge of revealing the test items to the students, and some of them will be the moderator to brief about the test execution to the students. Since we need to conduct this test online, we decided to use Google Meet as a platform for the students to gather and sit for the test, and we also used Google Form to collect the students' answers. It is because most of the students are familiar with the platform in SMK Desa Cempaka. At last, we opened a WhatsApp group in the WhatsApp application for the students to confirm the date and time to conduct the test. We also gave priority to the students so that they will feel comfortable and convenient to answer the test paper prepared by us.
So, hi guys, Nalin Raja here with matrix number D201910881112. So, I'm here to explain to you about what is this table of specification or TST or TOS. So, basically what it is about a blueprint, a plan of what and how a topic is being tested. The what and how is very important here, where the what is the topic that we will be testing them, and how the method, MCQ, essay, fill in the blanks, anything. In another way, we can also say that the TXT or the table of specifications is also a matrix where the rows are for specific topics, and each column is a objective in terms of the Bloom's taxonomy. Alright, so now why should we create a TST? Very good question. It is to make sure that we identify the achievement domains while ensuring a fair representative sample of questions, and to also improve the validity of the test. So in the case that a student says that you didn't teach us this before your exam. No, I taught you this, and these are the questions. You can do it with such an ease, and it's also very important for documentation. What do we include in a TST is simply the topics and what question are each topics based on, and what is the level of each topic based on their difficulties. Something extra about TST is just that, well, actually there are 3 types of TST or TOS, which is the one-way TOS, two-way, and the expanded version. So the one way is basically just mentioning what are the topics, the list of the topics, and how many marks are allocated for it. The two-way would be what are the topics and how are we going to test them, subjective, objective, MCQ, and so on. And an expanded table of specification is much more in detail, which is something like what we have done here. If you notice in the background here, it's actually our TOS, but it's too blurred. But don't worry, you'll look at it in our report. That's it. Thank you. So it's me again, but this time it's for marking scheme and rubrics. We all know marking scheme, it's like a list of answer, or what rubrics, what are they going to test us based on, to test our answers on a test, on our assignment or an assessment. What should we do? It will give us a precise list of criteria based on what the evaluators are going to mark us based on. So why is it so important is because they explicitly explain how a student is graded and every mark is accounted for. So there's no such thing as I did this but you didn't give me mark for it. Well, there's no criteria for it, so there's no mark for it. Or teacher, why have you given me so high mark? Because you fulfilled all the criteria, my dear. So that's the summary of marking scheme and rubric. Enjoy. Oh yeah, almost forgot. We actually did a marking scheme for our MCQ, which was a list of all the answers, the correct answers that we are expecting from the student. And for the writing test, we did a rubric based on a few criteria that we agreed on, and each of these criteria were given 5 marks each, so they could round off and round off to a round number of 20, which will aid or make our calculations easier further down the line. So that's it from me. Peace out.
Hi everyone, my name is Rakesh Raj, son of Vincent, metric number D20191088108. So today basically I'll be explaining about text execution. Now for this test we planned to do on a final year term exam, which we prepared this exam on the basis of we are preparing it for a final year exam. So firstly, to start with, exam format. For the format, how we planned is like 20 MCQ questions and 1 essay question. The reason why we choose only 20 MCQ questions, this is to fit the time, because the time we planned is only 45 minutes, and at the same time we want to make students enable to answer all the questions and the time really enough for them. So that's the main purpose. On top of that, format that we have arranged and planned really worked out very well. So 20 MCQ, 1 essay question. And for the time management, students will take for the MCQ 1 question 1 minute. So they'll be spending 20 minutes on MCQ and another 25 or 20 minutes on essay question. And for the essay question, we made it like writing an email in 150 words so that it would be easy for them. The reason why we gave them writing an email, because that is what is easy for them to fit the time and at the same time to fit their proficiency level. So we just keep in our mind that we are preparing questions for Form 4 students, and at the same time we have to give questions that really can help them to manage their time, and at the same time can make them to answer the questions that can resembles or enables to fit their proficiency level. Firstly, so each question we allocated 1 mark, which is for we have altogether 5 sections, which is A, B, C, D, and E. A, B, C, D sections all are MCQ, and section E, which is last section, is an essay question. So for the instructions, we really care, and we really gave them a full instruction, which is first they have to write their full name and class clearly in the Google form provided, and they have been given instruction, which is a question paper consists 5 sections: section A, section B, section C, D, and E, and all the answers should be written only using Microsoft Word, and the answer sheets must be sent in PDF form right after the test using the platform given by the teacher. So Google form is used as an evaluation method for them to send back to do the exam. So we'll be sending them question. They have to read the questions and they have to answer in a Google form, so it would be easy for them. So next, content. So for the content, as I mentioned earlier, we have planned 20 MCQs and 1 essay question, which is writing an email. So for MCQ, we did all the questions based on Bloom's taxonomy. So in one passage or one section, for example section A, we'll be including all the elements from Bloom's taxonomy when making the questions. For example, first question, section A: most of the students become blank by spending too much time on computers, video games, and television. So for this question, we used knowledge as in from Bloom's taxonomy for students to answer easily, because this is the beginning of the question. So to maintain a good level for them, so we started from a knowledge element question. So apart from that, we have used passages that already been localized according to our country's category, according to our syllabus category, so that students would not feel hard when during answer the questions, and they will not have any doubts that can put them into trouble. And for the essay question, we want them to answer based on the instruction clearly. So we gave them question, an essay question that make them easy to answer. So our essay question's title is: write an email to your school principal to request for face-to-face teaching and learning process due to high challenges in learning at home. So we also gave them some of the important informations that they can use in their essay. And for essay part, they have to write an email in Microsoft Word, same, using font Times New Roman, which is 12, and spacing is 1.5, and they have to send to teacher in PDF form via the Google form. And as I said earlier, we have already given them notes below the essay, so that they can use the informations to write an email. So this is how we prepared our exam and the questions all. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Muhammad Shaman Akira bin Hatono, and this video is for the test execution result. Now, before I start discussing about the test execution result, I would like to first mention that the platform we use to execute this test is Google Form. Now, before we were planning on having 20 respondents, but only 14 of them are able to attend, since the other 6 failed to do so because of some internet connections problem, and some of them have last minute planning. but we cannot do anything since we cannot force them to answer, so we just have to do it with 14 respondents. Now the questions that we've created consist of two parts, which is the first part is for MCQ questions, consists of 20 questions, and then the second part is writing a short essay of an email. Now for the MCQ questions, we have 20 questions overall. Now these questions for the test execution result, I will mention two parts, which is the question that the students found it easy to do, which the success rate of getting a correct answer is above 70%. And then the second part is the questions that the students having a hard time to do it, which the success rate is only 40%. Now for the first part, which is the question that they found easy to do, is question number 1, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, and 16, which these questions, the success rate of getting a correct answer is, out of 14 students, 10 or more than 10 of them get it right. Now for the second part, which is the one that they are having a hard time to answer it correctly, was question number 2, 4, 5, and 18. Since the number of students who get it right is less than 6, which especially for question number 5, which is only 6 of them, the minimum. Now for the for the second part of the test, which is the essay writing, only 7 of them are able to hand in their work, even though they are given extra time to do their essay. We expect at least 10, but when we ask for excuse in the group, they did not say anything, so I cannot give any excuse about either they have connection problem or they just don't want to do it. I cannot say, because for this part I did not put it mandatory for them to send in, because maybe they are having a hard time not having a computer for them to type in the answer. It is understandable. So out of 14 of them, only 6 answer, and then one of the student email her answer to one of my group member, which is Parimala. So altogether there are 7 of them, and I've read the responses. For the essay writing, 5 of them managed to get full marks, while the other 2 need a bit more training to get a full mark, because I can say that the success rate is above 70%, which I can say is quite good for students of that age to be able to do the short essay with very good writing. I think this is all for the test execution result. Thank you. Okay, for this part, doctor, this is the screenshot of the test result. There are 15 of them here, but only 14 answer, because one of the 15 respondent is my group mates trying to see how it works for the Google form. So just ignore the one respondent.
Greetings again. So, I would like to reflect on what I learned throughout this assignment too. So, from the start of the test construction until the results obtained after the test execution was really a good experience for me, as I learned new skills and strategies in designing the test. There was a lot of things that our group considered before constructing the test, such as the proficiency level of the students, and most importantly, the five principles of the assessments are playing a crucial role in creating the perfect test paper for the students. Yet, we face a lot of challenges like in creating the test format and in constructing the suitable questions for the students' final year test. A lot of changes we did onto the test paper to make sure all are fine. So during the test execution, initially we had problems with lack of students to join in order to complete the test. Yet at last we managed to get 10 students. The students were also performed well in the test and managed to finish the test within the time allocated. The feedback that we got from the students also were all supportive and positive comments. In a nutshell, I truly appreciate our lecturer for this course, Dr. Charanjit, who has helped us and guided us by rechecking our test papers and correct us to produce a valid test papers in for our assignment too. So I would like to appreciate a good collaboration and cooperation among the group members who are willing to help each other in redesigning the test specification table in specific. So I want to thank our doctor and group members. Thank you so much.
So, hi guys, Nalvin here again. So, this time it's about a reflection that the personal reflection that I've gone through throughout this entire process. So, first and foremost, I take a bow to my lecturer and to all the teachers out there because I always said that you're just asking questions and it's easy to ask questions than to sit down and answer them. But the stress is totally on a different scale, and by no amount a student is comparable to a teacher. Just barely on the stepping stones to becoming a teacher, I have already seen a little bit of insight of the level of difficulty for of the job requirement of a teacher. First and foremost, the so-called phrases "asking question is easy" is entirely wrong. We have to make sure we form the proper question based on the lessons that we have taught, and in order to make sure that those questions are adequate to the level of our current students' proficiency level. So that's the first thing where I realized that a teacher's level and a student's level is very different, and how do they have how do they manage to spasm the gap is mind blowing. Number two, well, prior to this, to be honest, I didn't know the existence of a table of specifics or table of specifications. And although I've seen the rubrics and the marking scheme before, but I've never really put in a thought into how it is to create or how it is that they evaluate based on the teacher's point of teacher's perspective. It is totally different, and I learned a lot. So it was basically true what the teachers always say. It is always what I've taught you in class, and we have the TOS to prove it. Third, and the most important thing, this is such a new topic to me that if it was entirely up to myself, I would have failed this hands down. So, thanks to my team who organized our groups and we gathered the students. Of course, we did struggle to get the students to participate in our test. Just 10 students, but you might think 10 is a small number. Anyhow, the time management and team organizations and the cooperation from my team was the utmost synergy. Seriously, if without my team, without my friends, without my group mates, none of that would have been possible. So this is a newfound appreciation to fellow teammates. That's it from me. I'm Nalin signing off.
Good day, everyone. So, my reflection for this assignment is now I can know that how my teacher had hard time to construct all the questions for the test. Before this, I'll just imagine that just constructing or creating an exam paper is easy. but for answering the questions on the test item would be the most difficult one for all the students, even for me. But after I did this assignment, I can know that how my teacher had to do a good and a quality test paper to ensure that we can answer the exam well. It suits our proficiency and we can manage our time according to the test paper. So it's really hard to take to manage all the criterias in creating a test paper. So what I learned, most important thing is constructing a test item is not an easy way. We as a teacher we have to prepare well before constructing test item. We have to do a test specification table to ensure that our test paper is follow or based on TST. So a test paper which has all the criterias that follow all the qualities of a good exam paper wins in exam, which students can answer well during the exam and they can get good marks. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, Doctor. My name is Muhammad Shaman Akira, and this is my reflection for the assignment. Now, for the first, when I construct the test, it is easy for me since for assignment 1, I have already know the elements of constructing a test, which are validity, reliability, practicality, authenticity, and respect. So when I designed the test, it wasn't that hard when I rely to the fundamentals even. Secondly, the test constructing it isn't hard, but for me, finding the respondent that are willing to do the test is hard enough. So I don't see any problem in doing the test, but finding the participant is a problem for me and my group mates. I think, and the thing that I get, especially for this subject, is the elements, which the 5 that I just mentioned before. So this is all from me. Thank you.
So, as for the conclusion, considering everything, we believe that testing is the most practical way to explore and assess the student's understanding and capability in learning a specific subject or course. Through testing, the students are also able to recap on what they have studied in a particular time frame, and they will try to achieve good results by having good competing skills among their peers. Moreover, as we started to construct the test for this assignment, it was a great opportunity for us as groups to explore the steps and terms to be taken into consideration to design a suitable test instrument for the students. We also learned that teachers' test construction skills must be concrete and reliable according to the students' level of proficiency. It was also a good experience for us when we administered the test to a group of students. They were also so cooperative with us by understanding the test process and completing it according to the time frame given. Yet nowadays, constructing and administering the test can be so challenging for them as it becomes low in authenticity and practicality. The schools are conducting the test via online, and we could not be able to trace or control the students' behavior in answering the test. Sometimes even teachers can retrieve the test items from online. Somehow, they will use other resources to retrieve the answers, the questions. This will make the test to become low in quality and invalid for the students. Thus, the schools and government need to create an effective way to carry out the test via online for the students where it will not affect either their test paper or the test takers. That's all from us. Thank you.